Hello my dear students, hope you all are doing well. Today in this lecture 3 of number theory, we'll be studying how to find out the GCD of two bigger numbers. So I have considered a very simple example, that is 1729 and 182 to be the numbers, and to express it in the form d is equal to 1729x plus 182y. So the bigger number 1729 is equal to 182 into 9 plus 91. 182 equal to 91 into 2 plus 0. Therefore, the GCD is the number that which I have highlighted. It is equal to 91. Now, this one I have reversed the steps. From the first step I am having 91, which I will reverse the step. I can just write it as 1729 minus 182 into 9. And 91 is equal to 1729 into 1 minus 182 into 9. Comparing it with the question which I am having, so I will get x is equal to 1 and y equal to minus 9. Again, to better understand, I have considered another question, that is to find out the GCD of 423 and 198 and express it in the form d equal to 423x plus 198y. So now look, the first step of the solution which I have written is 423 is equal to 198 into 2 plus 27, and 198 is equal to 27 into 7 plus 9. So 27 is equal to 9 into 3 plus 0. Now looking, because I have highlighted 9 here because it is the last non-zero remainder, therefore the GCD is 9. 9 equal to, we are having, because I will be reversing this step, 198 is equal to 27 into 7 plus 9. So 9 can be written as 9 equal to 198 minus 27 into 7, and 198 minus 27 again can be replaced as 423 minus 198 into 2, and then again it is getting multiplied by 7, that is nothing but we are having, see, now we are having multiplied by 7. This looks like a minus b into c. So how do we multiply ac minus bc? In the similar manner we multiply that. So we are having 198 minus 423 into 7 plus 198 into 14, because 2 into 7 will be 14 here. So 9 can be written as 198 into 15, because we are having 198 14 times plus 198 1 time. Totally it will be 198 into 15 times minus 423 into 7. Now because they have given in the question, d should be in the form 423 into x plus 198y. When I will be comparing, I will get x is equal to minus 7 and y equal to 15. Next, we look into a theorem, that is, as I explained the example to you, the same thing will be proving here. That is, if G is GCD of B and C, then there exist integers x and y with G is equal to bx plus cy. So for that reason, I define the integer d, which is equal to minimum of bu plus cv, where u and v are integers, and bu plus cv is greater than 0. Now also let x and y be the values of u and v corresponding to this minimum, so that we take d is equal to bx plus cy. We first prove that d divides b. To prove d divides b, I consider the quantity here, that is d does not divide b. If d does not divide b, then there exist integers q and r by division algorithm, so I can express b equal to dq plus r. R is the remainder, and the condition on the remainder, it should be greater than 0 but lesser than d. And then rearranging, b is equal to dq plus r, which I can write it as r is equal to b minus dq. Now that b minus q into d, because d I am having bx plus cy replaced. So rearranging again, I will get b into 1 minus qx plus c into minus qy, where r is greater than minimum of this number, that is bu plus cv, where u and v are integers. So we are having that is equal to d. This gives a contradiction since r is less than d, and thus we find that d divides b. Similarly, we can prove that d divides c. Thus d indeed divides the common divisor of b and c, that is, d divides the GCD of b and c. But if I take the GCD of b and c equal to g, then there exist integers b and c with b is equal to gb and c is equal to gc. Consequently, one has d is equal to gbx plus cy, and hence proving that G divides D. Thus G is greater than 0 and D is greater than 0, and one of the properties says that G divides D. So we have G divides D, then one has D is greater than BC. In addition to the relation D divides GCD of B and C, which we have derived above, so therefore it is necessarily D is equal to GCD of B and C. But then GCD of B and C is equal to Bx plus Cy. Hence, this proves the theorem. These are the basic properties of divisibility. That is, if A divides B implies A divides BC for any integer C, A divides B and B divides C implies that A divides C, A divides B and A divides C implies that A divides Bx plus Cy for integers x and y. A divides B and B divides A implies that A equal to plus or minus B. A divides B and AB are positive implies that A should be less than or equal to B. And the last property is if M is not equal to 0 and A divides B implies and implied that MA divides MB. Now looking at the proof of this properties, actually it is very easy because we know the definition of A divides B. What does A divides B mean? B can be written as B is equal to AK1, where K1 is an integer, and to this we multiply by C. We are having BC is equal to AK1C. Now this AK1, K1C is nothing but an integer. Product of two integers is again an integer. So we are having BC is equal to AK, hence proving that A divides BC. The second property, that is, I have to consider if A divides B and B divides C, we have to prove that A divides C. How is that? We'll see. A divides B again implies that B is equal to AK1 by the definition of divisibility. Similarly, B divides C implies that C is equal to BK2. Now, substituting this 2 in 1, we are having, substituting 1 in 2, we are having C is equal to BK2. That B we can replace by AK1. Again, the product of two integers is again an integer. So, we are having C is equal to AK3. Implies that A divides C. Hence the proof. Again, the third property is proved in a similar manner. That is, B is equal to AK1 and C is equal to AK2. We multiply Bx, that is, we multiply x to this one and y to this one, will be getting Bx plus Cy equal to AK1x plus AK2y. I can take A common out and then I am having K1x plus K2y, which again I can replace it by another integer, call it as K3. So this completes the proof saying A divides Bx plus Cy. Now next property which we are having is to prove A divides B and B divides A implies that A is equal to plus or minus B. Again, applying the definition of divisibility, we can write if A divides B, we have B is equal to AK1 and B divides A implies A is equal to BK2. Substituting one in other, we are having 1 equal to K1 into K2. 1 can be product of two numbers provided either it is plus 1 or it is equal to minus 1. Hence proving that A divides B and B divides A implies that A is equal to plus or minus B. Next property which we are having is A divides B. Then we can write B is equal to AK1. Given both A and B are positive, therefore we write A is less than or equal to. Two inequalities we are having. The same thing I have considered as an example. I take 3 divides 12. 12 can be written as 3 into K, 3 into 4 here. So obviously 3 is less than 12. And if I take 3 divides 3, then I am having 3 is equal to 3K. K in this case is 1. Therefore we are having these two inequalities which I have told you in detail. Next, switching on to the other property, if A divides B and M is not equal to 0, we should prove that MA divides MB. Applying the definition of divisibility, B is equal to AK1, K1 belongs to Z, and for a non-zero integer, if I multiply to this equation, that is, I will be getting MB equal to MA K1, where K1 belongs to Z. Hence, this proves the properties of divisibility. Thank you for watching my video as well.